Hello, amazing, beautiful beings. This is Milena. Today, I want to talk about one of the major principles of reality creation and how we create our everyday lives, our experience. Very often, we like to refer to experience because we think it's convenient and it's very helpful. We base what we do, how we respond to things, how we react, what we create on our previous experience. Because we see a situation and we think, okay, I've experienced this before, I kind of know what to do. I think in this case, I need to do this. Or I've seen something similar happen before, so I think that is what is likely to happen. So in order to prevent it, or in order to make things easier on myself, this is how I'm going to react. And we do this all the time. Generally, we think that we do this for the sake of convenience, so that we've learned certain things and we apply the knowledge that we've learned in the past, and we can have better, more efficient, accurate, whatever, protective of ourselves responses, if you will. However, that very, very, very often backfires because we are transforming, we are changing. And when we base our reactions, responses, words, what we do, our choices on past experiences, very often we tend to create something negative, because what used to be the case, our brain looks at a situation, a person, whatever right now, and immediately starts connecting it to our data. And our data is all the past memories, experiences, the classifications that we've made of experiences, of things that happen, situations, people. And in just a few seconds, we're given the end result. That's how we feel about this. That's how we want to react. That's what we think about this person. Now, most of the time, of course, that information is quite inaccurate because we've made generalizations based on the past and how some things are related to the past. What it turns out to be very often is that what we think is the most adequate reaction turns out to be the most inadequate reaction that creates painful, unpleasant experiences for ourselves. Because we are extremely, 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 extremely powerful when we are present in the moment. And when we don't allow most of our previous experiences to dictate how we feel about the person, situation, the thing that is right in front of us, even ourselves, we tend to label things. And not only do we tend to label things, but we tend to remember the most painful, unpleasant things. And we tend to associate what is right in front of us with potential threats. If in any way it reminds us, it connects to past experiences that we've seen as traumatic, what we do is we're like, red light. We need to protect ourselves from that. And we need to have a protective response in one way or another, whether it's shutting down, removing ourselves, closing our heart, not allowing ourselves to feel or connect, whatever it is. But that is in the past. Yes, we used to have that system connected to the ego and protection and remembering negative experiences, but all of that is changing. Now, drawing from past experiences, it creates the same emotions, the same neurological pathways are fired. We go by, it's easy, we go by default. We have done it many times. Our body's used to the emotions that we feel. Our mind is used to creating these thought patterns. We're used to reacting a certain way. So what we do is like we're bringing our little backpack with our baggage from the past, which we call experience in a very flattering way, to determine, to label, to classify what we see in front of us now. But if we use that, we'll be using the power that we have in the present moment to create very much of the same. There's nothing else outside of us that is making us do that. And when we think that certain systems around us are going to respond a certain way, certain people around us are going to respond a certain way, and that's why we need to respond a certain way, that's all based on past experiences. And I know we think that, but we don't control the systems, we don't control other people. We control our experience of reality to a much, much larger degree than we can imagine. And we don't have to take anybody's word for it. It's very, very interesting when we start playing it and exploring it and testing it, just to see if that is actually the case. One of the end results of doing that, drawing from past experiences, is that when we experience something new, our tendency used to be that immediately we start interpreting it as something negative. Oh, I'm hearing this ringing sound or noise in my ears. Something's wrong with me. I should probably go to the doctor and get them checked out. I'm starting to have these visions. I have these weird dreams. My kid is starting to see things. What's wrong with them? Immediately, we go into thinking that this is scary, that's not normal, that something negative might be happening. I mean, we hope that it isn't, but our first thought goes to a negative interpretation, which makes us feel how? Uneasy, fearful. A lot of our abilities are waking up. Our bodies are changing. Our system is changing. Why haven't I heard many people say, oh, this is really expensive and it's a new exciting experience. I haven't experienced that before. It's very, very interesting. I'm so curious about it. I would like to find out more. We start mapping into and tapping into the understanding that we're always safe, that we're powerful creators. So what are some practical steps that we can take in order to avoid our bringing our baggage and carrying our past experiences with us? Well, the very first one is to ask ourselves to be aware. And we can safely assume that whenever we feel some sort of dissonance in our system, uneasiness in our lives, fear about something, we can ask ourselves the question, am I basing that on past experiences? Most of the time it's subconscious because our brain does that for us. But as soon as you ask yourself, as soon as you become aware, then it opens up and more information becomes accessible to you. Then the second step you can do is like, how do I choose to experience this? How would I like to experience it? And then drop all the programs that say, oh, but you can't do that, but that's what it is, and blah, 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 blah. Because, I mean, yes, of course, those thoughts will come, but that doesn't mean you have to accept them. It doesn't mean you have to believe them. And most of all, what does it feel like? If I don't know the circumstances or the exact things that I'd like to create, what do I want it to feel like? And shower yourself in that energy, submerge yourself in that energy. And know that you're creating it by virtue of being in the present moment. Enjoy that daydream, drop it, move on. See what happens. And by dropping it, I mean the last step. It's rest in the knowing that you are the creator. And that by making a decision and a choice and daydreaming and feeling into how you want something to feel, it has to follow that resonance. Because you are the one doing it. We are. One of the main reasons why most of us came onto this planet, anyway, people who would watch this video, is to create that transformation, to make that shift. And we will go into our full creator mode and start creating something amazing, beautiful, and wonderful like you. And if you need more help implementing that into your own life, book a session at askmilena.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter as well as the channel and click on the bell so that you can get notified of all future videos. They come out on Friday. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.